Hello, folks. This old Hunter here. I got a few little funny little jokes and stuff I pulled over the years that might put a smile on somebody's face, and it's called "Have a Laugh with Pat." Come have a laugh with Pat. I got my little baby right here to help me in case I make mistakes. She can help me a little bit there. I'm gonna tell about a time that me and a very dear friend of mine we went up to Ross Barnett Reservoir to go fishing and camping for about a week. Well, we wasn't catching nothing. The fish just wasn't biting. But you got to understand, this friend of mine, he could jinx the Atlantic Ocean, I believe. The fish would be biting like crazy. If he showed up, then nobody catches nothing. So anyway, we were trying to catch some fish, wasn't catching nothing. I said, let's take a ride down there to the spillway. I said, usually people are catching fish down there on both sides of the spillway. A lot of people fish down there. So I said, we can take my boat and just slide out the back of the truck, paddle out there in the middle, anchor up. We can fish out of the boat so we ain't got to fight everybody's line out there on each side of that reservoir spillway. So we did. We got down there eating about probably 2 hours before dark. Plan on fishing later on into the night. Well, I got to watch my friend. His little eyes kept getting droopy and droopier. And I told him, I said, buddy, I said, I know the fish ain't biting right now. I said, when a big catfish hits your line, it's going to jerk your rod and reel right overboard. He said, no, he said, I'm going to wrap it around my finger. That way if something hits it, I'll know. I said, okay. So he took his line, he wrapped it around his finger, and he set his rod down the bottom of the boat. He was in there with a little chin resting on his chest. After a little while, I heard him snoring. I said, well, he's getting him a little bit of sleep. So I reeled mine in and put a fresh piece of bait on it. And we had the bait one of them little plastic buckets. You see kids down on the beach with them, digging in the sand, all that little plastic handle and everything on it. We had a bait in that. And I got looking at that after I threw my rod and reel back out with the bait on. I got to look at that bucket, and for some reason, stuff like this just comes to my mind. I don't know why, but it does. So I reached over and I got to hook this line, and I very carefully pulled it in. I wasn't about to jerk his finger. I was afraid he'd try to set the hook. I got the bucket, and I tied his line to that bucket handle, and I eased it over the water. When the current took that bucket, he got down there and tightened that line up and jerked on his finger. Boy, he set the hook. When he did, that current was making that bucket just go back and forth in the current. And it was pulling the drag. And he was hollering and screaming. Nobody on either bank saw me tie that bucket to that line. They was all hollering, lose your drag up. Don't fight too hard. I mean, they would give him all kind of encouragement. And he was fighting that fish like you would not believe. And I'm sitting back there trying my best not to laugh. Well, after about 15 minutes, after fighting it, the bucket finally come up. When he seen that bucket tied to that line, he gave me a look that if he'd had a gun, I'd be dead right now. And everybody on the bank just went to busting out laughing. And finally, in a few minutes, he would laugh too. He said, you know, that was a good one. I said, yeah. I said, the only thing kept you from killing me, we've been friends since the second grade. I said, that's the only thing that saved my life. And I really appreciated that joke I pulled on you. I hope you enjoyed it too. He said, I did. Well, folks, that's one of my good jokes I've pulled over the years. I'm going to tell another one real quick. This one here, it was funny and kind of mean too, but it's funny. I think while I was working at the refinery, went on down towards the Outfall Canal, there was a water snake was crossing the road. So I grabbed that water snake, and I've been scared of snakes. I've caught a lot of them. I got him up in the truck, and we got back to the machine shop. I was a machinist. I worked in the machine shop, worked outside, worked a little bit all over. Had another one of my buddies. I'm not going to call any names because I don't want to offend anybody putting this on TV or computer, whatever's going to go on. So I'll just say friend, okay? I walked in that machine shop, and he was deathly scared of snakes. And I showed it to him. He started backing up. I said, I'm not going to put the snake on you. Now, you quit growling, little girl. You behave. So anyway, I put it in a paper bag. And see me put that snake in the paper bag, and I rolled the top up. And I set it on the table. I went to working on the lathe. I was making a pump shaft or something. Anyway, it got to be dinner time. Well, we always went on the shop because it was air conditioned, and most of us sat on the floor and leaned back up against the wall. Well, I got in early that day, so I had a chair. Well, I brought my lunchbox there, and I set that bag on the floor right there by my chair. When I got through eating, that buddy of mine, boy, he was eyeballing me. I mean, he wasn't taking his eyes off of me. So I reached down, I got that bag. And I untwist that bag a little bit like that. And I stuck my hand in, and I was thumping the bottom of that bag with my hand like that, make it look like something in that bag was moving. I jerked my hand. Boy, you almost caught me that time. I kept doing that. And boy, that buddy of mine was eyeballing me as I was getting big as saucers. By the time I reached that bag, I grabbed it. It was an old piece of dirty rope I'd put in there, and I slung it and went right between his legs. He literally climbed that wall backwards. That might have been kind of mean to do, but it was funny. But I could have probably given a man a heart attack, but you don't think about stuff like that. Well, folks, I need to take just a little bit of break here. Catch my breath. I'm going to tell them in just a couple of minutes. One thing I want to show y'all before I tell some more stuff is, if you look right up above me here, that's two magnolias. You look on the wall right over there, that's another big magnolia. I made this for my wife. My wife loves magnolias. And I made them out of 10 and come out with 10 snips. And the cone that's in the middle is actually a cone out of a real magnolia. The one on this side, I made that one out of wood. That took me a long time to make that one, but she really loved them. Okay, let me tell y'all another funny one. Okay? This here was with my brother and another real good friend of mine. We going hunting down the Pascagoula River Swamp. I've been on that swamp. I knew it like the back of my hand. I knew where the white oaks were. And usually when you got white oaks dropping acreage, you can have deer and you can have hogs. That's what we was hunting. Deer or hogs, either one, didn't matter. So we go down there and I dropped my brother off. Look, go get over there. It was right after daylight. Get a little bit further. I told my friend, I said, you go sit over there. Now, don't y'all move. Y'all stay there. So when I'm coming out, I can pick y'all up. Because I didn't want to have to run all over the swamp for half the day and half the night looking for them if they got lost. Well, I went in a little bit deeper where I knew there was some hog sign. I've been seeing some hog sign. Well, I climbed up a tree with my climber, and I'm sitting up there about 2 o'clock that evening. Here come a sow with some nice little 50, 60-pound hogs. So I shot one of them little ones because I didn't want to try to drag that big one out of there because we was about 2 miles in that swamp. So I shot one of them little ones. I come dragging out, and I come to my buddy. The second one I dropped off. I give me a hand with this thing. He got one leg, and the other we dragging out, and then pick my brother up. And we get on down there, and we get in a boat, and we come home, get it out, put it in the refrigerator and everything. And I said, we're going to go hunting again tomorrow down there in that swamp. And I said, if I kill another one, or y'all kill one, then we'll divide it up. So next morning, sure enough, right at daylight, we're going in the swamp again. I dropped both of them off, same place I had them before, because it was good spots. I mean, some white oaks there, and they were dropping acres. There was a lot of good sign there. And when I got down there, well, I killed the first hog. I went left my tree climber in there. I went and climbed that tree with it. And I was in that tree probably 30 minutes, and here come that sow with some more of her little pigs. So I shot another one. So I come dragging it out, and here's my buddy said, man, I ain't seen nothing. Here you shooting all these hogs and everything. That's just the way it goes, you know. So I get on down, I get my brother. So we drag it out, we get to the boat, and I said, let's rest up a bit and get a little something to drink. I said, we'll go on home, we'll skin these out, cut them up, divide the meat up. So while I'm sitting there drinking on a cold drink, and my brother, my friend, doing the same thing, he looked over at me, and my brother looked at me, he said, how in the world are you killing them hogs? I ain't seeing nothing. I said, well, you got to know what you're doing. I said, you don't know how to call a hog? He said, no. I said, well, now watch me. I said, you got to get just exactly the right kind of leaf. So I'm digging around on the floor down there with all them leaves and all. I finally picked one up. I said, okay, this is the right size. And I took that leaf and I folded it over my finger real good. I went, here, pig, here, pig. You could have cut his throat. He wouldn't have let it drop. He knew he'd been had. And I think that was a good one there. All right, folks, I'm fixing to call it quits for the night, and I'll try to get some more. We'll put them up for y'all later on. Good night.